but we can leave a better place for our children. Wishing you all a holy and a blessed Christmas. A Christmas where you can look up to the God of the universe, the King of kings, the Lord of lords, the true wine that came out of Egypt, the Lord Jesus Christ, our Emmanuel, who was, who is with us, and will always be, and will come again to judge the living and the dead. For me, the holidays are over. What I came to Goa to do, I'm just about in a position to tie up all the knots and the loose ends and move on to how the Lord is leading me to a purposeful New Year 2025. My mission, Ephesians 3:10 and 11 is complete, and I will pen it down into a book in the context of the armor of God. In context of the armor of God. But here is the message from the third oracle of Balaam. I will just post the outline, which is technical, but I will add the message here, which is devotional. Half a kilometer from here is a church where I attended the first month I was in Goa. A church where my friend from the Gideons took me to attend, and the pastor there gave a horrible sermon on the prophet Balaam. It was directly hitting how at me because my message is on how the Lord was leading me right from the judge Deborah, and how the Lord wants me to volunteer and not take up a job through uh, the disobedience of the King Saul, and also about the prophet Balaam. The pastor's message concentrated on how Balaam was called to curse God's people. Whereas when he led me through the life of the prophet Balaam, what I saw was a prophet, was a person who had a one-to-one relationship with the God of the Bible, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the Lord Jesus Christ. And he was clearly told not to go with the king Balak, who had called him to curse the people. Yet, when Balak sent higher emissaries and more money, Balaam went again to try to squeeze the will of the Lord and make it his will, so that he could go and accept the gifts and the money that Balak had given. And the Lord was angry with him, and he said, "You can go, but only say what I have to tell you." And that's what the third oracle is about. For me, the application from Balaam's life: you know the will of God, you just do it. You do not try to twist the arm of Him by seeking His will a second time. The evangelist Saint Matthew, or Matthew, in his gospel, in the chapter 2, verses 13 and 14, on the nativity, or the events surrounding the birth of the Lord Jesus Christ, he says that Jesus Christ was the son that the Lord brought out of Egypt. In so doing, fulfilled the prophecy. Egypt at the time of Christ, and even at the time of Balaam, when the Lord brought the Israelites out of Egypt, was a land of idols and many gods, and they were polytheistic and serpent worshippers. They worshipped the sun and many other gods. And Balaam sees this. When Balaam sought the will of the Lord the second time, the Lord was angry with him, and he says, "You go, but you will only say what I will tell you to say, and you will not be able to curse the people of God. Obviously, that pastor half a kilometer from where I stay does not know the Lord Jesus Christ, does not know how the Lord is leading me. If he knew, he would not give a sermon concentrating on the curses that Balaam was asked to give by Balak. Balaam sees this and his only response is worship. Falls on his knees, Alleluia. That babe in the cradle is not only a baby but the Lord Almighty, the El Shaddai, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, our Emmanuel, who came and which we commemorate every Christmas, him being with us. Not only does Balaam worship, but he also addresses the entire nation of Israel, which the blessings he sees, the tents that he sees, the houses that he sees, he he addresses them in singular. He addresses them as the Greek Old Testament says. He addresses them as the one person because that is what God told him to do. Out of Egypt I will bring my son. Out of the land of idolatry and polytheism I will bring my son. αὐτὸν εκ Αἰγύπτων. αὐτόν is him, masculine, singular. That's what the prophet Hosea also says, that out of Egypt I will bring my son, who will be King of Kings, Lord of Lords. After being warned by an angel in dream, Joseph flees with his family, the child and Mary, to Egypt, and only returns after the threat from Herod is over. I made this and for our local Christmas program in the parish. Frosty goes green. And he also sees that none should arouse the Lion King, the judgment of the Lord. The sons and daughters of all those who believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, the lions of Judah, the Kiaras, the Lion Kings or the Kiaras. They are neither afraid to stand up for the truth nor afraid to administer the truth with grace as their Lord, Jesus Christ, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, out of Egypt and full of grace and truth. The best wish I received was from a young lady whom I met in Bangalore 2 years ago, opposite Sweet Chariot with the child. She runs an orphanage and an old age home. And she wished me Merry Christmas, Uncle, and a Happy New Year. She not only because I remember her, not only because of the great respect and admiration that I saw that she had for me and with the child that was with her, but also because I had met her opposite Sweet Chariot. One of the brothers of the owner of Sweet Chariot runs a bar in Australia, and that brother and that bar is associated with a dark, dark memory. So God does these things. He replaces dark memories with events that show you how much He has held your hand, how much He has lifted you up, and how much people look up to you. 2025 is going to be a year of extreme focus on health and on reforms, for our children in the life to come. Those whose deeds are dark are afraid of the light, but those who are on the side of truth have no fear because they are perfectly loved, and perfect love drives out all fear.